I want to have a real talk today, and it's about self-esteem and pricing. And I have got some notes here, so if you see me looking down, it's purely because I want to make sure this episode is not like half an hour of me yapping, but actually stuff that you can take something from. If you are constantly second guessing your prices, discounting your worth, or worrying that you're charging too much and what people are going to think of you, believe me, you are not alone. I've seen this a lot as a coach. So many handmade business owners, they struggle with self-worth when it comes to pricing, because you're literally putting a price on something that you have made. You're not just selling a mug, a candle, necklace, earrings. You're putting a piece of yourself out there for people to judge, and that's hard. That's hard going. And when a buyer questions the price, it feels like they are questioning you, and that is a little bit crazy. And I don't think we give it enough of like oh wow, that's a really heavy thing. And we just kind of like expect ourselves to be able to sort of figure it out. Here's the thing though, pricing isn't about proving your worth as a person. It's about building a sustainable business that allows you to keep creating. So it's almost like I want you to think of it as it's your responsibility and your job to charge your worth so that you can stay in business, so that you can serve more people. You're not like, oh, please buy these pair of earrings, please, please, please. Like, no, like you are bringing creative things to the world. You're doing a service for others. So the only way you can continue to do that is if you're pricing your worth, you're charging your worth. By the end of this, I want you to feel clearer, stronger, and more grounded in what you're charging, and maybe even empower a few of you to increase your pricing if you know deep down, like really, really deep down, that you're not really charging what you should be. I've got three kind of avenues that I want to go down and really talk about here, and different angles to approach this, because believe it or not, like not charging what you're worth, it's a three-pronged thing. Sometimes people feel this way about it. Sometimes people feel other ways about it. And I want to kind of like explain what I've seen as a coach and what I've experienced as a coach, and kind of how we got them to the other side of it. Okay. So number one is the self-esteem link. Okay. This is where people feel like I'm not good enough, or it only takes me 10 minutes to make it, or I haven't been doing it enough, or do you know what I mean? Like kind of that level of I shouldn't be charging this because of insert excuse. Your prices are not a reflection of your value as a person. When you're charging £10 for something that takes you £9 to make, you're not being kind or nice or reasonable. You're burning yourself out. And I feel like this is definitely something that I do see. A lot of those who put their own needs aside for others, but they do it excessively. They do it all the time. Their entire day is spent putting their own needs aside. I'm talking like, hey, you've been busy making cakes for the bake sale. You didn't realize that it's like 3 p.m. and you haven't eaten yet. Or maybe like you need to pee, but oh my God, you don't want to leave the Zoom call because God forbid your boss gets mad at you and says you need to sit your butt down, and no, you know. So if you're constantly undercharging, your business becomes this stressful hamster wheel where you never feel caught up. Hey boss, real talk here. If your socials are feeling a bit meh lately, you're posting but nothing's really happening, then you know what it's time for? It's time to fix your socials. This December, we are doing it together inside of a free 5-day challenge designed to get your confidence, content, and conversions back on track. You're going to be learning exactly what to post, how to get seen again, and how to turn your followers into real customers, real money without spending hours online. We officially get started on the 1st of December. You can sign up free at handmadebosses.com/fix your socials. I'm going to pop that in the description below as well. So join up, it's completely free, and let's get your socials glowing again. Ever feel like you're there And I feel like that feeds the cycle of low confidence. It's kind of like this endless thing where you're like, oh, my business is failing. I'm not charging enough. I must not be good enough. I can't raise my prices. And the cycle begins again. It's just this endless thing. So I want you to reframe that and reframe it as charging your worth isn't selfish. It's self-respect. It's saying my time, energy, and creativity, they matter. Okay. And I really do not want you to, and I do see this happen a lot with those who say, I'm affordable because I want to be affordable. Now, there's a difference between serving a vast target audience that values price, which, to be honest, is very rare. Like, I am going to be honest and real with you. That is very rare. That is, in fact, your USP. So if you're saying that, I as your coach, I would heavily question that. But even if you're like, no, like I feel like I'm charging that because I want to be affordable. Are you sure that is not hiding deep down this thing of I want to be liked, a people pleaser, if you will? Now, I can say that as a recovering people pleaser because that was me for a long time. A long time. I was like, no, like, I don't want to be this like selfish, insert expletive here, that wants to charge $1 gazillion for this coaching package. I don't do that now, by the way, but it's only because that was an empowered choice. Before, it was I don't want people to judge me. Please like me. Please love me. Like, oh, I'm not this horrible person. The fact of it is that, like, and I don't know whether this is reassuring for some people or not, but you're going to be judged. Whether you like it or not, whether you have a business or not, you are going to be judged. And you know what? Maybe 50% of those who judge you won't like you. But that's fine, because they wouldn't like you no matter what you did. So really, that's quite freeing, because you're like, well, all right, if there's nothing I can do to make those 50% like me, then I can't be bothered. So I don't know whether that helps, but it's just a thing I've learned. All right. So number 2 is I want to talk about why handmade buyers want to pay more. Because we sometimes think if I price higher, no one will buy. And this is a fear that comes up every single challenge. Because normally one of the first things I say is, let's do a pricing check. Because you know what? If we have a challenge that the whole premise of it is making you more sales, my God, we want to make sure that we're going to make profits from those sales. We sometimes fail to think about it from the buyer's perspective. All we think is cheap means more sales. Or from a buyer's perspective, a bargain means good, want more. But people don't buy handmade because it's cheap. Like, they would go to eBay or like Amazon or some other site to buy something cheap. Let's be honest, They buy because it's meaningful, because it's special, because it's crafted with care. That's why they buy, which is why I always say to you guys that handmade businesses should never compete on price, because that is a slippery slope to you not being around in a year's time, your business not being in business in a year's time, because it's a slippery slope to like the bottom where you end up not making any money at all. And if your prices are too low, buyers actually start to question the quality. They question you and they say like, why is it so cheap? Oh, it obviously means it's like mass produced crap. Like, will it ever last? And that's what people are doing. Like, okay, if you saw like the brand new iPhone, and I always use this example because I know full well, like we all know what the newest iPhone is and how much it is. But if you saw it for half the price as it was in like the Apple store, like brand new iPhone, you'd start to be like, okay, no, like scam alert, no, fraud, no, no, avoid, So imagine you have 2 candles. One is £7, one is £22. Which one feels like the special gift? Which one feels like it belongs in a thoughtfully wrapped Christmas hamper? Higher pricing positions you where your ideal customers already expects you to be. Let me say that again. Higher pricing positions you where your ideal customers already expect you to be. All right. And with that, we're going to move on to number 3. This is where the emotional blocks come up. And this is where it gets real. Because most underpricing, it does come from 3 mindset traps. And that is, number 1, the fear of rejection. If I charge more, people won't buy. Okay. Number 2 is a comparison one. And that is, that seller charges less, so I need to too. Or number 3, guilt. It only took me 2 hours to make. How can I charge £40 for this? So a coaching reframe for you, if you are feeling one of these 3 things, is pricing isn't about hours worked. It's about the value of the end result to that person, to that ideal target. A 2-hour necklace might represent 5 years of skills, tools, knowledge, trial and error to get there. There's a story which I'm probably going to butcher because I'm not the best at remembering anecdotes and stories, but I'm going to tell it anyway. And it's about Picasso, right? And there was a woman that asked him, that was like, oh my God, Picasso, wow, oh, I'm such a huge fan. Can you sketch something on this napkin? So he did. It took him approximately a minute to do, and he was like, da, 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 da. He had his pen on him, and he was like, okay, kind, da, 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 da. He handed her the napkin and said, that'll be $30,000, please. And she was like, but Picasso, it only took you a minute to do. And he's like, no, it took me 30 years to do. And that's a lesson of, it's not the time that you're seeing it being done, it's the amount of effort and knowledge and, like I said, trial and error that it took to get to that point. So I want to kind of add like an extra little one here, which is talking all about what happens when you charge, because when you charge the right price and you charge fairly, aka you make a profit and everyone's happy, you attract buyers who respect you and your work, which means no back and forth about, oh, can you do it for this price? Or will you, make the sale longer or more or whatever, who haggle with you. You create financial breathing room for you, which means you get to be more creative because you're not stressed. And number 3, you actually enjoy making again because it feels sustainable. It doesn't feel like you're fighting for your life, just trying to stay in business. It's not about money. It's about self-esteem, really. And charging properly means that you believe in your own work. So I want to do 2 like comparative characters now. So I want to talk about Sam. So Sam underprices because she wants to be affordable. She sells a few items here and there, but she's exhausted and a little bit resentful of the whole endeavor, whole business thing. Every time she sees someone else doing better, her self-esteem drops further. Now, Lydia, on the other hand, she charges more. Straight up, she charges more, but she charges fairly. At first, she's a bit nervous. She's a bit dubious about her pricing, and she's like, oh, I don't know. But her prices actually start to attract people who love what she makes. She respects her boundaries, and her clients do the same thing for her. Not only that, her target audience actually thank her for her craft. They love it. They can't get enough of it. She feels proud, not depleted. So your homework is, I want you to journal/sit with this question. And that is, if you knew there were buyers out there ready to pay, what would you really want to charge for your products? Okay. Write it down. Say it out loud. Like, notice how you feel. That number is often, to be honest, closer to what you should be charging than the one that you might be currently listed at. Okay. If this one hit home for you today, know this: you are not too expensive. You are not taking advantage. You are building a business that values you as much as your customers value your products, if that makes sense. All right. And I really feel strongly about this. And like I said, every time we do a challenge or something, this is something that comes up all the time. It does make me like really passionate about talking about pricing, because I know so many of you are undercharging because, any of these mindset things that we've gone over. But I also need you to know that once you plant your stake in the ground and say, these are my boundaries, this is what I'm doing, a lot of the pressure, a lot of the issues just fall away, because immediately you're like, no, this is what I expect. So I really hope this has been helpful for you. If it has, let me know, send me a DM, leave me a comment, which one kind of panged at you the most. You were like, oh God, yeah, that hit me in the feels there. And yeah, let me know what you thought. Are you going to be doing the homework? What does your pricing feel like? And thank you so much for joining me. Do not forget to subscribe on the podcast or on YouTube. And yeah, I will see you same time, same place next week for another episode of the How to Be a Handmade Boss show. Thank you so much for tuning in today. If you love this episode, make sure you hit the follow button so you never miss the next one. And also, why not come and hang out with me on Instagram? It's at Handmade Bosses for daily tips, behind the scenes. And also don't forget, you can catch the video version of this podcast over on YouTube too. Until next time, keep going towards your handmade business goals, boss, because the world really does need those special creations that only you can make.